Tie then, it's Wigan against Salford, two champions, the centenary champions Wigan against the Division 1 champions, the Salford Reds. The teams line up like this: Salford Reds at 1, Steve Hampson; 2 is Nathan McAvoy; 3, Scott Naylor; 4, Scott Martin; 5, Darren Rogers; 6, Steve Blakely; 7, Mark Lee; 8, David Young; 9, Pete Edwards; 10, Cliff Eccles; 11, Paul Forber; 12, Luke Savelio; and 13, Sam Panapa. The Salford subs: Ali Davis and Andy Burgess. Wigan have Gary Connolly at 1, 2, Jason Robinson; 3, Chris Rudlinski; 4, Vega Twigamala; 5, Martin Afire; 6, Henry Paul; 7, Sean Edwards; 8, Neil Cowie; 9, Martin Hall; 10, Terry O'Connor; 11 is Simon Horton; 12, Scott Quinnell; and 13, Andy Craig. The referee this afternoon, David Campbell from Widnes. Well, with us this afternoon, a man who's played for both these sides with considerable success, Jed Byrne. Jed, how do you reckon this one's going to go?
I think you've got to back Wigan as favourites just because of their experience in this sort of cup tie. But like any cup tie, there's always the possibility of an upset. We'll just have to wait and see.
And of course, Salford Reds coached by Andy Gregory, a man who knows all about Challenge Cup success. Useful to have him running the show, isn't it?
Well, he knows all about it. He's enough experience. They've done very well to get promotion this year. Whether they relax now because they think the pressure's off, I don't know. It'll be good for Salford to give them an idea what's expected of them next season.
Also in the Salford lineup, players with Challenge Cup success behind them: Steve Hampson, Sam Panapa, and with Wigan associations as well, Steve Blakely and Scott Naylor. So they'll know what it's all about. Terry O'Connor in the Wigan side returning to the Willows. You mentioned Salford winning the First Division title. Obviously not going to go up to the Super League, but I think they're out to prove a point as well this afternoon, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like you just mentioned now, there's a lot of ex-Wigan players in their team. They'll obviously be wanting to prove a point or two. I'm looking forward to it. It's looking very exciting at the moment.
Do you think they're going to have to prove the point early on? They really can't afford to let Wigan build up a head of steam, can they?
No, it's obviously the first 20 minutes. Mistake. They've got to be very, very, very little mistakes in the first 20 minutes, and we'll just have to wait and see whether the nerves get at them or not. Is another thing.
Well, a great crowd here at the Willows. Fantastic to see a full house, almost a full house. Must be around the 10,000 capacity as Salford, through Steve Blakely, get the game underway, and big Scott Quinnell takes the ball up for the first time and makes good progress before he's brought to the ground by Cliff Eccles. Horton taking it up now. And this Salford defence has really got to be on the ball from the word go. Terry O'Connor getting the boos of the Salford fans. Former Salford player, of course. Hall going on his own. Good defence so far from Salford, but Wigan making steady progress. There's Farrell. Well, he's starting the game. We understood that Craig would be wearing 13, but it's Farrell who started. Edwards with the kick, and then a tester for Hampson, but he takes that one well. Paul is up there, and Rudlinski. Mark Lee. And Mr. Campbell catches Wigan offside. First penalty of the game goes Salford's way. Blakely, who's already his club's leading scorer this season. Records have started for the new season already. It's a strange affair. Here we are in March, but the records for the centenary season have been completed, and we're on a new set of records. And Blakely, with his goal kicking against Featherstone, leads the Salford goal scoring charts. Here's Sam Panapa. Good burst from the former Wigan loose forward. Mark Lee. There's the knock on. Luke Savelio just couldn't hold that ball from Mark Lee. Doesn't look as though there's any nerves about Salford early on, Jed.
Well, there's been a mistake on each side early on. They've got to control the ball a little bit more, Salford, if they're in with a chance today.
Well, that's a great tackle from Darren Rodgers, supported by Blakely, and Connolly really was hit hard then. Henry Paulo, typical step there. Again, Salford there in numbers. Paul Forber, it looked as though Henry Paul lost that ball, and yes, he did. And it's a useful situation for Salford now. The mistake by Henry Paul, I think, as he got to his feet there, under pressure from Paul Forber. So Salford with the feed. Mark Lee, Panepa, Blakely. Here's Darren Rodgers, strong running winger. Pete Edwards, Cervello trying to turn out of trouble there, but Quinnell, and then O'Connor with the tackle. Here's Panepa. Panepa looking to go on his own. Had support from McAvoy. Lee. Blakely ducks under the tackle. I think he caught, took a knock there. Lee again, orchestrating things. A little chip over. Robinson has to turn, and he puts that ball dead. Good pressure from Salford, Jed.
Very good indeed. Again, resulting in a Wigan mistake. Good. It's very good start for Salford at the moment. Yeah.
This is what Salford, of course, have got to do. Really, if they're to put Wigan on the back foot, they've got to make a good start.
They've got to maintain this pressure now. No doubt, Andy Gregg will be very pleased with this first 10 minutes or so.
Making a good start's one thing, keeping it up another. Cervello runs straight into the imposing figure of Scott Quinnell. Oh, that's a good step from Steve Hampson. Greeted by former colleague Sean Edwards. But Salford really powering on the pressure now. Going through the line through Cliff Eccles, but held just short of that line. Lee, Forber on the burst. Panepa switches, great switch. Scott Naylor held just short. Lee tries the grubber kick, as looks to be hauled down. The ball goes loose, and Mr. Campbell awards the try, and it's David Young, I think, who got the touchdown. It was Lee's little grubber kick that caused chaos in the Wigan defence, and David Young just got there, according to referee David Campbell. That's a fantastic start for Salford.
Can't ask for anything more than that, really. Very good drop-off passes. There was everything in that set of six.
And referee David Campbell was well positioned to see that one. Caught Wigan on the turn. So the champions, Challenge Cup holders, the last 8 years unbeaten in 43 Challenge Cup ties. Get a taste of the early passion that Salford were bound to show today. Blakely to add the extras, and he does so. So Salford leading by 6 points to 0. And Wigan know they've got a game on, if they were in any doubt at all. But knowing Wigan, you don't rack up 43 unbeaten cup ties without knowing a thing or two about cup football.
No, there's plenty of time left yet. It's obviously a couple of mistakes early on from Wigan. No doubt they'll settle down now in the next few minutes, and I think we might see a try in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, they're bound to come back at them now, and Martin Hall leading the charge. Jason Robinson scampering away from the play of the ball, typical fashion, and Salford's defence really is going to be tested now. You can be sure of that, and a penalty awarded there. The Salford infringements quickly taken, and Wigan looking to bounce back straight away. Neil Cowie. Hall to Edwards. Here's O'Connor on the burst. Lee is there, Forber there as well. Mr. Campbell just making sure that Salford get back the 10. Farrell on the charge. Good tackle by Panapa. Edwards, Quinnell going for the line, held just short. Edwards, Paul and Connolly, and Connolly shrugs aside one challenge. Jason Robinson now, the grubber kick, goes past Darren Rogers, still going Jason Robinson, and eventually it's McAvoy covering across. Darren Rogers. So a test there for the Salford defence, and they just held firm. But you can bet that try from David Young after just 6 minutes has stung Wigan. There is Young. Eccles. Scott Naylor ducks under the challenge. Oh, Lee did well to hang on to that. Blakely, nice step, and Blakely finds acres of space. He's got Connolly ahead of him. He's trying to go round Connolly. Gets the ball away to Darren Rogers. Rogers with a chip ahead. He's taking on Jason Robinson. Robinson just gets there and takes the ball over his own line, but great break from Blakely. That's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, it's they're showing a lot of confidence. They're actually attacking from deep inside their own half, resulting in a dropout again. Yeah, it's good stuff from Salford. Both sides are relying a little bit on the rubber kick as well when they get near the line. Obviously the wingers and the fullback are going to have to be aware of that.
Well, the Salford fullback Steve Hampson knows a thing or two about this Wigan lineup. Peter Edwards, Salford hooker. Mark Lee, busy start to the game from him. Paul Forber. Blakely, again trying the step. This time the defence was there from Wigan. Now, here's Hampson with a chip ahead. They're looking to turn Wigan again. Didn't come off that time. Game being played at a cracking pace though. 9 minutes gone, and no shortage of excitement for the near capacity crowd here at the Willows for this 5th round tie. Wigan with this amazing Challenge Cup record to defend. 43 games they've gone. Here's Rydlinski, haven't seen much of him so far. This gets lent on by David Young there. Twiggamala also had a quiet start. Couldn't get away from Rogers there. And Scott Martin. Henry Paul. Cowie, and Edwards launches that one. Doesn't get much distance on it. And well taken on that far side by Nathan McAvoy. Mistake from Salford, and nobody wanted the ball for a moment there. And you really can't afford mistakes like that. David Young, try scorer for Salford. And O'Connor comes back for a second bite. Horton there as well. Sam Panapa runs into O'Connor and Horton. Blees. A step. Gets away from 2 challenges. Still going. Takes on Quinnell. This time it's Quinnell who holds him, but only just over the halfway line. We're onto the 5th tackle, but then it's a penalty to Wigan. And referee Mr. Campbell saying that Forber in fact was holding on to Quinnell and not the other way round, and presumably Paul Forber trying to pull a fast one there, Jed.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to try anything in cup games. Try it didn't come off that time, but you never know.
Well, Wigan trailing by 6 points to 0 here. The David Young try, Steve Blakely goal, and Salford's defence equal to the challenge so far, but Wigan yet to really hit their stride. Hall, Edwards, here's Farrell. Farrell runs straight into his own man Cowie. And Mr. Campbell decides that was an obstruction. Farrell, Rudlinski, Edwards, Paul turns, Connolly, neat interplay between the Wigan players. Robinson trying to step past the challenge of Forber. Panapa is there as well. Edwards inside to Hall on the burst, 5th tackle. And there'll be a little, oh, it's the switch to Horton goes close. Is he over? He's held up. Great tackle from Cliff Eccles. I don't know what you thought about that one, Jed.
Well, it looked like the right decision. I don't know though, really. I couldn't really see from here, but obviously the referee's give his decision and he's not going to change it.
Well, it looked as though Horton had rolled out of the challenge and managed to ground the ball, but Mr. Campbell, I think he was in the right place, wasn't he?
Right place. Like I said, he's give his decision now. He's not like I said, he's not going to change it. They'll just have to carry on now.
There isn't time to argue, is there? I mean, the game's such a cracking pace.
Incredible pace, and it does rugby league credit, obviously.
We've had 13 minutes, Salford leading by 6 points to 0. A David Young try after 6 minutes, goal by Steve Blakely. And here is Young, runs into another Welshman, Scott Quinnell, and another Welshman, Neil Cowie. Lee with the kick, looking for the corner. Connolly at full-back for Wigan. Good chase by Salford, but Connolly coming across the park to where there's a bit of open space, and where there's also Paul Forber. Now a fire to Twigamala, inside ball. And again, the Salford tackles are good, and the forwards certainly putting in some good work for Salford.
It's very good at the moment. Both sets of forwards, they're cancelling each other out very well indeed.
Here's Quinnell. Good tackle again by Cliff Eccles. Paul. He's got Farrell. Paul gets the ball away superbly. Now here's Twigamala. He's got Connolly outside him. It must be a try. It's forward. It's forward, says Mr. Campbell. Well, difficult angle for us to see, but let off for Salford.
Well, again, there's pressure on in the last 2 or 3 minutes. It's put a lot of pressure on Salford. They're doing very well, the scramble defence and everything else, but like I say, if they maintain this pressure, I think they're going to crack.
Surprising that he didn't need to, he wasn't under no pressure on the pass there, was he? Surprising that he went forward.
Obviously, he had an overlap, and I suppose he did the right thing. Whether it was the winger's fault for overrunning the pass, I don't know.
Well, another escape for Salford. Horton's had a try disallowed. And now with the line open, Connolly just got ahead of the pass from Twigamala. Touch judge on there, Luke Cervello, I think it is, involved there. And just a little disagreement in the tackle there. I think it was O'Connor who's involved, but it's Luke Cervello that Mr. Campbell wants to talk to, and Terry O'Connor. I'm just telling them to cool things down. There hasn't really been time yet for any disagreements. The game hasn't stopped, has it?
No, it's been exceptional at the moment. Naughty boys, don't do it again.
There you are, you've been told. But much to the Salford fans' disgust, the penalty goes Wigan's way, and Mr. Campbell indicates use of the elbow by Luke Cervello. I think he went into the tackle with the elbow high, and Farrell just plunks it into touch. So Wigan with another chance to put a bit of pressure on this Salford defence. Cowie taking it up over the 22. And penalty there, and he didn't play the ball properly. And Cowie just arguing the toss with Mr. Campbell, but the penalty remains, and Blakely gratefully puts that into touch. Well, that was careless, wasn't it? I don't think he played the ball properly, did he?
It looked it from here. Like I said, basic mistakes again. You can't really afford to do things in cup games. Basic mistakes in cup games.
Well, Graham West, the Wigan coach, probably won't be too pleased to see his side making the sort of mistakes you don't really associate with Wigan.
No, they do tend to have a clean sheet on that front. But like I say, it all depends on how much pressure the opposition's giving them, really.
Great break there from Scott Naylor. Takes Salford into a good position. Blakely, Panapa. It's been all Wigan for the last 5 or 10 minutes. It's all Wigan again. Oh, for a moment. But then Quinnell, I think it was, trying to get the ball away to a fire, and he didn't really need to in that situation. Wigan should have been grateful just to get possession with Salford on the attack, and it's Salford feed. Wigan haven't really settled, have they, Jed?
Not at the moment. It was unlucky, really. It was on it. If I had caught that ball, I think it would have been try time. But obviously, you have to look where they are on the pitch. They are in their own 25, maybe just outside their own 25. I suppose really they should have played safely. So,
well, bad news for Salford, because Sam Panapa has just limped off, and on will come Andy Burgess. And Panapa with, looks like an ankle injury. Burgess, number 15, comes on. Forber. Here's Eccles inside that Wigan 22. Pete Edwards, and here's Burgess for the first time. Gets the ball away to Forber. Forber trying to go past Farrell. He does do. Goes past Henry Paul. Still going, Paul Forber. Now he floats the ball out wide to Darren Rodgers. Burgess. Again, Salford keeping this ball alive. Blakely, Lee. And now Salford close and just held up. I think it was Luke Savelio held short of the line. And he was held up, says Mr. Campbell. So that's a let off either end now. Horton held up in similar circumstances, and Savelio very close there. My word, and Salford really are turning it on now as they move the ball wide again. Scott Martin just held there. Blakely, Hampson trying to go on his own for the corner. It's about 2 or 3 yards short. Here's Burgess. No support with him. A good tackle from Quinnell. Young looking for his second. He's not going to get there. The ball comes loose. It's still loose. And again, the man is held up. This time it's Scott Martin. My word. There's some good tackles going in on the line, isn't there? It's the third time.
Again, the scramble defence again. I think where Salford are causing the problems, they're actually slipping the ball in the tackle, and it's very hard to defend against. Again, very unlucky on that occasion, but they're keeping the pressure on, so yeah, it's obviously pleasing for Salford.
Blakely still going, tries to go underneath Rydlinski. Peter Edwards goes on his own, right in front of those Wigan posts now. Mark Lee, there's Forber again. A good burst. It was Scott Naylor looking for the gap, and again Wigan forced to defend frantically. Lee, Burgess goes past Twiggamala. Here's David Young. Young again, he's already got one try, gets the ball away well, and Wigan there in numbers. Here's Forber trying to muscle his way over, and he's held just short. Well, Wigan really are defending frantically now, and they're defending well. And there's Paul, held just behind his line, and he's tackled, and he doesn't like that challenge, and temper's just boiling a little bit, and Mr. Campbell wants a word with somebody. And he indicates use of an elbow, and I think it's Cliff Eccles as he went in on Henry Paul there. Certainly a fired up Salford side. I think Wigan a bit rattled, Jed?
They're soaking the pressure up very well. Again, Salford was unfortunate not to have another 6 points there from that set of 6. Like I say, another mistake on Salford. They've let them off the hook, let Wigan off the hook again. Let's see how it goes.
Well, it was bound to be a fired up Salford performance, and Wigan have conceded 1 try. Salford have come close on another couple of occasions, but at the same time Wigan have had their chances. Horton's been denied on the line. Connolly could have had a try but for a forward pass right on the line. And you get the feeling that Wigan might be coming back into it now. Indeed, Connolly tries the grubber kick, but there's nobody following up for that one. And Burgess is forced to put the ball dead. A great atmosphere here at the Willows. Near capacity crowd. Salford leading by 6 points to 0. We've had coming up for 25 minutes. David Young's try, and Mr. Campbell just suggesting that Salford get on with it. But they'll be happy just to take up a bit more time. Blakely with the restart under his sticks. Connolly takes that one and then sees a wall of red shirts ahead of him, drifts across the field until he's met by a tackle from Burgess. Connolly looking to come out wide here, but Darren Rogers with the tackle. Twiggamala, Edwards, here's O'Connor in the burst, and Cervello with the tackle. Martin Hall looking for somebody. Oh, it finds Sean Edwards. Edwards gets it away, and it's Eccles who picks the ball off, and Cliff Eccles builds up some steam now, and again Wigan were almost there, but the final pass just went astray. It looked as though they were in for the try when Edwards made that break, but Salford escaped once more. How many more times are they going to escape? Here's David Young, the try scorer for Salford, gets the ball away well to Burgess. Burgess has Rogers there. Rogers goes inside Andy Farrell. And O'Connor there with the tackle as well. Lee, Hampson. There's Scott Naylor. Naylor with a nice step, and he's still going. He's got support. He's looking for support. And didn't find it, but still Salford in possession. It's Paul Forber who's had a tremendous first half hour for Salford. And pressure again on this Wigan line. Lee doing well to pick that one up off his toes. Blakely trying to dribble it, and it goes straight into the arms of Gary Connolly. Well, Wigan still trail by 6 points to 0 as Cowie brings the ball away. Here's a fire. I haven't seen an awful lot of him, mind you. There haven't been that many opportunities, have there, Jed?
No, not really. I think we're going to rely a little bit too much on the forwards at the moment. Salford are giving the ball they're giving themselves a lot of chances out wide. They're passing the ball out more and more, resulting in breaks. And if McAvoy could have got that ball away to Steve Blakely, then it would have been a try. Obviously, Wigan has got to get the ball more to Winger, and obviously Gary Connolly. I think they'll have more chances if they can do that.
And do you think Salford can keep up this tremendous pace that they've set?
Yeah, this is the big question now. If they can keep it up, they're in with a very good chance today.
McAvoy, Paul with the tackle. Again, Darren Rogers, midway inside his own half now. Peter Edwards. Scott Martin, strong run, but runs straight into Simon Horton. Blakely, Burgess, just on halfway now. And referee Mr. Campbell just suggesting to Burgess that he keeps his cool as Blakely carves through that Wigan defence. But Robinson comes to tackle. Fifth tackle. Burgess. Mark Lee. Scott Naylor. Naylor looking for the line. He's in. A second try for Salford. And again, Wigan, as Jed was saying, caught out wide.
Yeah, I mean, two ex-Wigan players. I mean, Steve Blakely made the break up the middle. Quick play of the ball. They got the ball out wide to Scott Naylor. Nice drop-off pass. Try time.
Well, this is a tremendous performance so far by Salford. Is this Wigan run that goes back to 1987 under threat? Oldham were the last side to beat them in the Challenge Cup back in February 1987, 10 points to 8 that day, and it's going to take a much improved Wigan performance, you feel, to overcome this Salford challenge. A long way to go yet, just over the half-hour mark. Blakely succeeds with the kick, and Salford lead by 12 points to 0. And Jed, you get the feeling the longer this goes on, the more confident Salford are going to be.
If Salford can hold Wigan out now till half-time, they'll be in a very, very good position. This is when Wigan are the most dangerous. The backs are against the wall. They'll be looking to score now before half-time.
It's not a position they're used to finding themselves in, though, is it?
No, not really, but they have, I mean, cup games, they've had tight cup games in the past, and they've come out winners, so you can't really write them off yet. I have a feeling they'll bounce back.
Well, he's been right so far, and Wigan really do need to bounce back just before half-time now to quell this Salford Reds uprising. A red revolution here at the Willows this afternoon. Salford looking to end Wigan's domination of the Challenge Cup, and masterminded by another ex-Wigan man. Well, two sides have beaten Wigan in the centenary season, Leeds and Oldham, both coached by ex-Wiganers, Dean Bell and Andy Goodway. Is another one going to do it this afternoon, Andy Gregory?
He'll be wanting to, he'll be hoping to, I should say. I know he'll be very pleased if he does, so, but like I say, it's early doors yet.
Certainly is. Half an hour gone. Salford leading by 12 points to 0 as another ex-Wiganer, Steve Hampson, takes that one under pressure from Twigger-Marler. Darren Rogers with a strong burst and straight through the defence. Now Rogers against Connolly, and Connolly with a great tackle. It was one-on-one there, and Gary Connolly did the necessary, got a knock in the eye, I think, for his pains. But it was a good break by Darren Rogers, catching the Wigan defence napping. And Salford looking for another try before the interval. Here's David Young, scorer of that first Salford try. Fifth tackle on the Wigan 22. Blakely, Mark Lee with a little grubber kick, runs straight into Quinnell. The ball bounces awkwardly, and Lee puts a boot in, and I think it was Rudlinski who went for that one, who got a boot in the face. Connolly is down as well. And Gary Connolly, who had a nasty cut to his mouth 2 or 3 weeks ago, which needed a lot of stitches. It looks as though he's got another cut there, but he's back on his feet. Horton steps past a couple of Salford tackles. That hasn't happened very much this afternoon. A penalty to Wigan for holding down there as Eccles and Peter Edwards, beg your pardon, it was Andy Burgess and Peter Edwards guilty. But all it takes really for Wigan to capitalise is one missed tackle. Salford haven't missed too many, have they?
No, but I'm a bit concerned at the Wigan defence, especially in the middle. There's no urgency, and there's a lot of gaps in the middle of the park. Salford tend to be breaking them at will at the moment. They've got to tighten. They've got to tighten the defence up in the middle of the park, Wigan.
Well, forward pass, I think, was Mr. Campbell's decision. I think he's given a forward pass. And again, Salford gain possession, and uncharacteristic errors from Wigan really aren't helping their case. And they need a try before the break here. But there's no sign of one coming just yet. Salford, Scott Naylor, scorer of their second try. Here's Edwards. Burgess trying to hand off Twiggamala, which takes some doing. Edwards there again. Blakely and Forber running back into the heavy traffic. Willing worker, happy to do that all afternoon. There's Mark Lee, who's been busy for Salford in this first half. Right on halfway now. Cowie and Hall with the tackle. Lee again. Dummy to Burgess. Here's Blakely. Blakely thought he saw a gap there. He did see a gap. He manages to get the ball away. Taken one-handed beautifully by Naylor. Here's McAvoy now. McAvoy trying to outstrip Redlinski. Can't do that. But again, as Hampson sets himself up for the drop goal and pulls it well wide. Was it the time for that?
Yeah, the idea was right. I mean, we're coming up to half-time now. They went through a good set of six there, Salford. Yeah, I would say it was the right thing to do.
Just didn't do it the right way.
Unfortunately, the corner flag got in the way.
Robinson, Burgess and Scott Martin there. Skerritt on for Wigan with O'Connor off. Here's Farrell. Farrell flings the ball inside. Hall can't hold on to it. And Sean Edwards belts that one out of play. And the look on Sean's face, I think, Jed, sums up Wigan's feelings in this first 40.
Yeah, I know they should have a lot to say at half-time. I think it's a bit of desperation, really, more than anything on that particular play. They've really got to get together at half-time now and obviously realise where they are going wrong.
Where are they going wrong?
Well, I would say that they are forcing a little bit too many passes. They are relying a little bit too much on the inside pass. Like I said earlier on, the more they get the ball to the centres and the wingers, the more chances they're going to have.
Well, it's Salford in possession. Just inside their own half now. Here's Luke Savelio. And he's just held on the halfway line. David Young scored that first try after 6 minutes for Salford. Blakely. And here's Scott Naylor, scorer of the second. Gets the ball away well again. Edwards. There's Cliff Eccles. This whole Salford pack's done well, hasn't it, Judd?
They've done very well this half. They really have. They've made a lot of yards every time they've got the ball. Again, Steve Blakely now with the ball. He's created problem upon problem.
Almost created another problem for Wigan there. Just held up short of the line by Connolly.
There's no urgency in the Wigan tackling at the moment. I mean, the Salford are managing to slip the ball in the tackle. It makes it more difficult for the Wigan defence.
4 minutes to half-time. Salford lead 12 points to 0. Robinson trying to bring the ball away. It's Burgess on in place of Sam Panapa with the tackle. Henry Paul. And obstruction as Twiggamala steams upfield. Back on the Wigan 22. There's obstruction and a lot of discussion going on in the Wigan ranks there. And they really are obviously uneasy now, aren't they, Jed?
Yeah, obviously now with that decision as well, it gives Salford to go a little bit further ahead. Very good out from Salford.
Well, Steve Blakely with this chance to add another couple of points. Blakely, who totaled 222 points for the centenary season. Those records now in the record books. We've started a new page, but already Blakely is ahead on points. Kicked 7 goals in that victory over Featherstone in the last round. He's kicked 2 already this afternoon, and he's got an opportunity to add another one now, which would be a great psychological boost going into the interval for Salford. They lead by 12 points to 0, and Blakely with what looks like a simple opportunity for him, just to the left of the sticks. Salford 12, Wigan 0, the scoreline. And that was just what Salford needed before the break, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can't ask for any more. I'm just looking over at Andy Gregory. He's out the dugout, programme in the hands.
So a terrific first 40 minutes for the Salford Reds, the Division 1 champions against the centenary champions, and it's the side from Division 1 who've taken the honours in the first 40 minutes. Now it's up to the Challenge Cup holders and the champions, the Regal Trophy holders, Wigan, to respond. Horton, who had a try disallowed, and maybe if Horton had grounded that ball early on, then it might have been a different story in this first half, but it hasn't been, as Wigan look for a break. And now Henry Paul tries to go round Hampson. Good tackle by Steve Hampson, and Salford under pressure now as Edwards just shows the ball. Rudlinski, Cowie, David Young back there to make the tackle, Cervello as well. But Edwards trying to get Wigan on the scoreboard before the break. Farrell, and Salford really have got to defend strongly now. 5th tackle on the 22. Edwards. Paul will put the kick in, surely. No. Connolly is in the line. It's Connolly trying to get the ball out to Twiggamala. Twiggamala against Darren Rogers. Twiggamala is in. Hampson, I think, protesting that Vaiga Twiggamala had put a foot in touch, but the referee, David Campbell, was quite happy with that. Looked at the touch judge, and the try stands. So a minute before the break, you said they had to get one before the break. Well, we cut it a bit fine, but important try.
You like I say, you can't relax for a minute against this Wigan team. They have the talent in every department. They can all score. They're all capable of scoring. Very, very dangerous. So like I say, when the backs are against the wall. So yeah, they've gained something from this first half. I mean, they can build on this now in the second half.
And like you were saying, I mean, that's the first time they've really attacked with consistent urgency, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, also, like I say, the more the centres get the ball, the wingers, they'll create opportunities. It's bringing the centres and the wingers into the game more. So yeah, it's good on Wigan's behalf at the moment.
Henry Paul with the chance to add the extras. 14 points to 4 the scoreline, and he pulls that one right across the face of the posts, and it almost hits the corner flag on the far side. So right on half-time, Wigan get back into the game, and this sets it up for a cracking second half. 40 minutes, and it's 14 points to 4 to Salford. Oh, great tackle. I think it was on Cliff Eccles from the restart, and Wigan immediately have possession. Skerritt now. If they were to get another one before the break, then that really would deflate Salford. And there's a chance now as Edwards for Farrell. Farrell. And there goes the hooter. And referee Mr. Campbell blows for half-time. Just a moment's hesitation there. Looked as though he was going to allow play to continue, and Salford mighty relieved to think that he didn't.
Definitely. I think the big question now is Salford's fitness. If they can maintain in the second half what they've just shown on the first half, we're in for a very, very good game.
14 points to 4 at the break then. Salford Reds leading Wigan. Wigan out, ready to rumble for the second half. Ready and waiting by the look of things. They look as though they're keen to get going, don't they?
I'll be very keen to get going with 14-4 down. I'd love to have been a fly in the wall in the Wigan dressing room to see what's been said.
What do you think was said? Educated guess.
Educated guess. Urgency in defence. They've got to tighten that middle up. Salford have at times been breaking them at will. Basically try and force Salford to play the ball out wide and hopefully cause errors out wide. And also a little bit, I'd say 20% more effort really.
And what about from the Salford point of view, from Andy Gregory? More of the same?
Just keep it going. Just keep going as you are.
Well, Wigan notorious for starting the second half with a bang, normally catching their opposition cold, and they'll be looking for an early score in the second half to follow up that try late in the first half from Vaiga Twigamala, which made it 14-4 to Salford and at least got Wigan on the scoreboard. But it's going to take a much improved second half performance from them. At the same time, it's going to need 40 minutes more of the intensity Salford showed in the first half if they're to pull off what would be a fantastic victory in this fifth round of the Challenge Cup. 14 points to 4, the Salford Reds lead. Fifth tackle, going to be Blakely with the kick, looking for the corner, and Robinson back there to collect it for Wigan. Running at the heart of the Salford defence, where they've been particularly strong, haven't they?
Yeah, it was a very good set of six again from Salford, resulting in a deep kick. If they can maintain that, it could be an upset.
But Wigan have 40 minutes to rescue their cup record. It was 1987 the last time they lost in the Challenge Cup, 43 games ago. Here's Martin Afire. They'll be looking for something from Afire in the second half. Jinking his way along the halfway line. They haven't actually made any ground yet, and there's Blakely with the tackle on Robinson. Horton came close to scoring in the first half for Wigan. Fifth tackle. Edwards, and they're running it. Farrell, but that was slow, and Farrell just slips it through his legs. There's still the ball's alive. Edwards with the chip kick. Forber first to react, and Skerritt in a couple of minutes late there. Just arrived a bit late, didn't he?
Just a little.
Salford in possession again. Scott Martin, and there's Skerritt again, and the touch judge is on, and I think maybe Kelvin Skerritt's taken what was said at half-time to heart, Jed.
A little bit too much to heart there, I think, yeah. Obviously you don't need penalties at this stage of the game, but you know, it's very hard because obviously the players are fired up very much. They know that they're playing catch-up rugby, but even so, there's no excuses.
Well, it's David Young, the referee, speaking to, so apologies to Kelvin Skerritt, but it looked as though it was his challenge that had brought the touch judge on, but in fact, and now it is Skerritt he wants to talk to. David Young, though, obviously reacted to that, and now Mr. Campbell has a word with Kelvin Skerritt and just illustrates where his approach was incorrect. Penalty to Salford. Blakely will put this one away. And again, Wigan make the mistake, and there's no sign of a change from the first 40 minutes. It was that unusual number of mistakes that let them down really in the first half, and they've conceded a penalty and conceded territory to Salford again. Here's Lee. Forber with a strong run, but Skerritt there again. And Cowie in with a tackle as well, and Cowie comes out of that hobbling, as though he's injured a knee. Lee gets the ball away well. Blakely running at Hall and Skerritt. It's Hall with the tackle. Right in front of those Wigan posts. Peter Edwards picks that ball up. A fifth tackle. The crowd think it's a try. Forber. Blakely with a grubber kick. Straight into the midriff of Quinnell. Was that a knock-on? Referee Mr. Campbell, who was behind the man anyway, couldn't see it, presumably. Waves play on. And Wigan bring the ball away. Connolly. Paul. Edwards. Twigamala running at his man, and then to Robinson. Robinson brought down on the halfway line by Darren Rodgers. But Wigan just looking as though they're up in the tempo a bit now. They trail 14 points to 4 against the First Division champions, Salford Reds. And it's going to take some strong defence from Salford to withstand what's bound to be a Wigan onslaught at the start of this second half. It's Skerritt with the chip ahead, and it's taken comfortably by Steve Hampson. Hampson trying to run the ball out, runs into Neil Cowie. Referee Mr. Campbell waves play on. The crowd appealing for a penalty there. Cowie in high on Darren Rodgers. It's okay, says the referee. And the gloves are off by the look of things, Jed.
Yeah, I'm just noticing Salford are trying very hard and working at it very hard to play the ball quickly, and it is definitely getting them a lot of yards. But also saying that Wigan have just passed the ball out, and I think they need more of that. They need more to get the ball out wide.
Good kick from Mark Lee. Pins Wigan back. There'll be a scrum to Wigan. We've had 5 minutes of this second half, and Salford lead by 14 points to 4. 35 minutes to go. 35 minutes for Wigan to assert their undoubted superiority. Robinson. Again, the Salford defence is strong from Blakely and Burgess. Edwards, Farrell. Farrell brought down by Luke Savilio. Connolly with a quick burst from the play the ball. A fire to Edwards. Edwards spins the long ball out. Paul, Cowie is there. Cowie bursts through one tackle, can't get the ball away. It was good tackle from Scott Martin. But here's Henry Paul. Paul brought down Martin Hall. Edwards with a little chip kick. Oh, well taken by Hampson. That was a bit of class, wasn't it?
Yeah, well done, Amfor. Steady as her up.
Burgess bringing the ball away. Cliff Eccles running at the heart of the Wigan defence. Now David Young, scorer of that first Salford try, takes on Connolly. Farrell there with the challenge. And Salford are keeping up their momentum. Blakely with the switch with Lee. There's Naylor with the burst. Naylor goes past Lee. Naylor looking for the line. He's lost a boot, but he's got to the line. And Scott Naylor gets his second try. He lost a boot. It didn't stop his progress. And again, the Wigan defence was exposed. And far from Wigan getting the early score they wanted, it's Salford Reds who struck again. They lead by 18 points to 4, and that Wigan defence again, Jed.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in the Wigan's half most of this half. It's just simple rugby, really. They get the ball out wide. Scott Naylor straightened up, went through the gap, and went for the line. It's simple stuff, really. I think Wigan should start panicking now.
Blakely successful with 3 kicks so far. There's the 4th. Salford Reds leading by 20 points to 4 then. Scott Naylor's second try, and surely Wigan have got to find something now. And it's now a question of Wigan responding to this. It looks as though they're getting ready to bring Andy Craig on. Farrell, Connolly, good tackle from the try scorer Scott Naylor. Skerritt with a strong run, but there's 3 Salford men there. David Young, one of them. 5th tackle, Edwards. Looking for deep space, but it didn't come off, and Hampson collects it now. Hampson trying to go round Rudlinski, and The younger man, I think, got the better of that one, didn't he, really?
Just.
20 points to 4. Salford Reds lead Wigan, the Challenge Cup holders for the last 8 years. 43 games unbeaten. And is Andy Gregory, 5 times a Challenge Cup winner with Wigan, going to mastermind one of the cup upsets of all time? Eccles, Forber had an impressive game for Salford so far. 5th tackle though, and Wigan pinning Salford deep in their own half. Blakely with the kick. Connolly collects. Trying to go round. A fire beats Burgess, but McAvoy makes the tackle. Robinson, but he can't get up that devastating pace. And the Salford defence holds firm again. How long can they go on doing that, though? As Terry O'Connor takes that ball up. Edwards looking for Farrell. Farrell thought he spotted a gap. He did. Henry Paul, a fire is in, but Lee is there. A fire gets there under the posts. Wigan are on the way back. Martin Afire with the try, and it was Andy Farrell who created that chance for Wigan. That's Afire's 5th try of this new campaign. He scored 4 in the victory over Bramley. Well, he's got an important one now for Wigan. Henry Paul adds the extra 2 points. It's looking different.
It is now. They've eventually started to up the game a little bit. It's more, I think Sean Edwards has got to take this game by the scruff of the neck now. It was a nice switching play from him. Good running by Andy Farrell, and good backing up from Henry Paul and the fire. More's needed. Definitely more of that is needed.
Well, Wigan back in the game now, and Skerritt in high on Hampson there. Referee Mr. Campbell telling the Salford fullback to get to his feet. Didn't seem to suffer any effects of that one. And the crowd getting behind Salford, and the Wigan fans getting behind their side. This is a cracking cup tie now. 20 points to 10. Salford Reds lead. We've had 13 minutes of this second half. Lee with a good kick, and Darren Rodgers is on the chase. Connolly having to come across. The ball goes out. $20 points to 10 the score then. Jaws music. Is there something we should be told? I know the pitch is water, it's a bit wet, but
I'm stunned, I can't say anything.
Farrell, who helped create that try for Afire. And Afire sparking into life, and despite Lee's tackle, there really was no stopping the Wigan winger. Robinson now looking to burst through there, but Salford eventually bring his progress to a halt. Martin Hall. Here's O'Connor. Skerritt, Young tries to get the tackle in, but he's still going, the big man. And I wonder if Salford are just beginning to get a bit weary, Jed.
Well, I was just going to say that this is going to test Salford's fitness now. Like I said, we're going to find in the gaps now. They are breaking Salford a little bit more. Like I say, it's definitely it's going to test Salford's fitness now.
Well, they got off there because of the forward pass to Scott Quinnell, just overshot there. And now Salford Reds have got to dig deep if they're to hang on for the victory here, because Wigan look as though they're late in the game, getting their act together, but could be a case of better late than never for Wigan. Peter Edwards takes the ball just into Wigan's half. David Young, he'll run his heart out for Salford. Cliff Eccles likewise, and he just barges off the challenger Sean Edwards. And Salford coming again. Lee trying to work the switch. Oh, good ball infield to Hampson. Hampson goes past 3 tackles. He's still going. Puts the kick in for Rogers. Rogers trying to get there. Connolly loses the ball. And what's the referee given there? He's given the scrum, and I think it'll go Salford's way. And it's Salford's feed at the scrum. Connolly, I think he did well to get there.
He did very well to stop that. That looked a certain try from here. Very well from Gary Connolly. Still the pressure's still on.
And here's Scott Naylor looking for his hat-trick. Salford, if they were to get another try now, well, that would really revive what might be their flagging spirits. They lead by 20 points to 10. They've begun to look a bit weary. Lee. Ball out wide. Rogers gets the ball out. And the try is not given. It looked like Hampson was in, but he's given a forward pass, and the touch judge on that far side just indicating to referee David Campbell that the ball from Rogers to Steve Hampson was forward, and it did look a shade forward from here, Jed.
Yeah, luckily for Wigan, still the pressure's on again. Obviously it's relieved now, by that scrum. It just goes to show now Wigan could go the full length of the pitch here in this next set of 6.
They could have done.
But the referee heard me there, I think. Sorry.
And I think he's given them the knock on at the play the ball. Well, Andy Gregory up out of that Salford dugout. And he wants... And Wigan getting the shove on. And referee Mr. Campbell giving the penalty. Well, they're not doing themselves any favours, are they?
No, I think it's desperation stakes now, I think. They've given Salford another six tackles here.
Still 23 minutes to go. And Salford Reds lead Wigan by 20 points to 10. Cliff Eccles takes that ball up. Salford on the attack. Lee. David Young runs at Henry Paul, at Terry O'Connor and Scott Quinnell. The 2 forwards bring him down. Lee switching it. Blakely. Good move that. Savelio. But Wigan read it. Farrell got the tackle in. Hampson. Burgess, the substitute. Just 3 or 4 yards short of the line. Lee. Here's Forber trying to barge his way through, going low, but again Salford kept out, and it's the 5th tackle. Edwards tries to go on his own, but that'll be the turnover. But at least Salford are keeping Wigan in their own half, which is I suppose half the battle.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that was the wrong option. I think a 1 point would have been a better option. You still can't write Wigan off at this stage.
Not by a long chalk. 20 minutes to go. Andy Craig on for the injured Neil Cowie. Radlinski. Edwards gets that ball away quickly. Henry Paul. Martin Hall. Again, Salford make the tackles count. Burgess wraps up Sean Edwards. Jason Robinson with a little chip ahead. Hampson well positioned, he read that one. Here's Darren Rogers. Rogers holds on to that ball. The temptation was there to get it away, but made the right choice, I think. Held on to that one. Cliff Eccles runs straight at Kelvin Skerritt. And Salford come again. Here's Blakely. Blakely gets it away. Savelio runs into Farrell and Quinnell. And Edwards gets it away. David Young. Young, again a strong run from the Welshman. 5th tackle, midway inside that Wigan half. Lee puts the kick in. Redlinski, beg your pardon, it's Andy Craig who goes back to collect that one and does well, the substitute. Wigan come again, but they haven't managed to get out of their own half for a little while, but Henry Paul might do that now. He's just brought down right on the halfway line. Twigger-Marler points Edwards forward. Edwards comes across. Twigger-Marler trying to burst through. He's still going. Edwards, Hall, Forber with the tackle. But Wigan running towards their supporters now are really getting behind their side. Robinson skipping his way past 2 challenges. And the crowd, the Wigan supporters, urging Mr. Campbell to penalise Salford for holding down in the tackle. Here's Skerritt. Skerritt knows only one way to go. That's the direct line. But now Wigan really putting the pressure on Salford. Quinnell, Horton. Connolly with a grubber kick. Lee does well. Just stuck the boot out. But there are some tired Salford players out there now, Jed.
I would say so. It's a little bit too much off the cuff from Wigan at the moment. You know, they was in a very good position there to set something up, and it ended up in a grubber kick really that gave Salford the ball back.
Well, escape for Salford there, relief for Salford, because knock on by Wigan, and Salford have the put in. Lee for McAvoy. The winger coming infield. And this is going to be a thrilling last 18 minutes now. Salford Reds lead Wigan 20 points to 10. The Challenge Cup holders' record in this competition, which dates back to 1987, on the line now. And at the moment, they trail to the Division 1 champions. Salford in possession inside their own half. Lee to Young, David Young, Hampson. Hampson looking for a gap there, but it's 5th tackle, and Wigan have kept Salford pinned in their own half. And Blakely will kick for the corner again, and that's an excellent kick. And Salford now obviously operating to instructions from the mastermind on the bench.
Yeah, obviously Andy Gregory will probably be telling them now just to go through each set of 6 with a kick at the end of it. Try and keep Wigan down in their own half. It's very good indeed.
And Blakely holds the key.
He's played exceptionally well today. I've been really impressed with how he's played today. And the confidence too, the confidence with how Salford's played.
Redlinski though. Oh, and wrapped up by Nathan McAvoy. And again, Salford get their tackles in, but Quinnell with a strong run. A fire. Sean Edwards looking for Twigger-Marler, but Edwards met him head on, and that was a crunching challenge on the big man. He hasn't been allowed really to sort of build up any head of steam, has he?
Well, not on that occasion, but he has looked dangerous a lot of times when he's had the ball, and I obviously think they should bring him a little bit more into the game now, especially as we're like, 10 minutes left.
Well, a bit longer than that. 16 minutes to go as Hampson goes up for that ball. It's knocked on though by Henry Paul. It's just not coming off for them, is it?
No, I mean they are trying things there, but like I say, that's cup rugby. I mean, you've got to be prepared for like anything really, and like you say, it's not coming off at the minute for them.
Well, that was the turnover, and Salford in possession again. Luke Savelio, the South Sea Islander, with a strong run. Peter Edwards Andy Burgess, who came on to replace Sam Panapa and has got through a lot of work for Salford. Now here's Blakely, the man who's had a great game, and Naylor, scorer of 2 tries. Oh, Blakely does well to take that pass, but then the knock-on by Salford. Scott Martin, I think it was, who couldn't hold on to that ball, but again, Salford prepared to take the risk.
They're absolutely overflowing with confidence at the moment, and it's very good rugby that they're playing.
But here's Connolly with one of those typical breaks, and he gets the ball to a fire, and a fire goes past Naylor. It's Lee with the tackle. What a great one from Mark Lee. It's Hampson, I beg your pardon. And Steve Hampson, against his former club, has had a great game as well. But Wigan come again. Edwards looking inside for Robinson, but Forber brings him down. Henry Paul. Burgess and Young that time with the tackle. Edwards again. Wigan turning the screw now. Farrell, Rudlinski. Rudlinski trying to go on his own. That's 4th tackle, that was. Edwards. O'Connor, well, that was a bit telegraphed, that one was. And Burgess was there. Hall. Edwards, 5th tackle. And there's the turnover, and again Salford's defence. We thought they were getting tired, Jed, but seemed to have roused themselves again.
Yeah, they just kept it too tight for too long, Wigan. They did have an overlap on the right-hand side, but again, chose to try and barge the way over.
Well, time running out for the Challenge Cup holders here. 20 points to 10 the score. Salford in possession. Here's McAvoy. Peter Edwards did well to get that ball away to Savelio. That's the 5th tackle though, and still Salford just inside the Wigan half. Blakely for Lee. Lee deciding to run it. Oh, and a great break from Mark Lee. Lee gets it out. It's Scott Martin with the chance. And Salford are going to score again. It's Scott Martin with the try. And that has stunned Wigan. An incredible break from Mark Lee. And Scott Martin just managed to get through the challenge and then sensibly went round close to the sticks. And Wigan, hands on hips, trudge back to their own line, and Mark Lee, I think, just caught them cold there. They were expecting the kick.
Obviously they was expecting the kick. Only 1 or 2 of the Wigan players moved in, the others held off, creating gaps, and there you go. It looks like it's going to be another 6 points.
And Joe Lydon, the Wigan assistant coach, among the players now, telling them that there's still time. It's not over yet. But Blakely taking his time with his kick. This, the chance to make it 26 points to 10. He does. And the Salford Reds supporters are witnessing a terrific performance from their side. And now Wigan really do have to find something. They're 16 points adrift. They're up against a Salford side that have defended heroically when the pressure's been on them and have produced some inspired attacking football, and that was a case in point where on the last tackle everybody expecting the kick, Mark Lee dummied the kick and then speared his way through and got the ball out to Scott Martin, and Martin went round behind the sticks. 26 points to 10 the scoreline. Gerrit trying to inspire his teammates. We've got 10 minutes to go. Well, can Wigan do it?
I won't write them off. I'm definitely not writing them off.
Because if there's one man who can inspire them, it must be Shaun Edwards. He doesn't know what it's like to sample defeat in the Challenge Cup. He's been in every one of these 43 unbeaten Challenge Cup ties for Wigan. Well, he does know what it's like to sample defeat, because he was in that losing side, I think, in 1987, when they lost 10-8 to Oldham. McAvoy. Here's Paul Forber. David Young, who got the ball rolling for Salford with that try after only 6 minutes. And the Salford fans thinking in terms of a Wembley appearance already. Well, as Jed said, you can't write Wigan off, but with 16 points the gap, then they really have got to produce something inspired now, as Blakely chips the ball ahead. Still Steve Blakely on the 5th tackle, then puts the kick in. Martin is challenging for that one. Martin will get there, he won't. He's offside. He's given him offside. Well, I think Mr. Campbell was spot on there.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with that decision.
He's had a good game, hasn't he, the referee?
Yeah, he's done very well.
Well, Salford Steve Blakely has won something already this afternoon. We've still got 8 minutes or so to go in this one, but Blakely voted man of the match for his performance. 5 goals and a lot of other contributions for Salford as well, so that gets him a medal and £150. But here's Twiggamala with the burst. Twiggamala still going, gets it off to a fire, and a fire is tackled by Forber. And Wigan come again. All is not yet lost, but Craig, though, all on his own out there on the right. No support, and he's wrapped up. A fire dummies to go left, comes right then. Still going on his own, a fire tries to go over. Has he got there? He's held up. Mr. Campbell indicating that the Wigan winger didn't ground that ball. And, well, credit to Martin Afire, there's no disputing from him. But again, terrific Salford defence.
They won't give in. I mean, they're making Wigan fight for everything at the moment. They did have the number. They're very disorganised at the moment. I mean, I know Shaun Edwards is having to do everything at the minute. He's organising everything, but they're not working to get the numbers. They did have an opportunity there, but obviously, I don't know. Somebody wasn't present. I think it was the centres. I don't know. They didn't have the numbers.
Well, Salford leading 26 points to 10. 6 minutes or so to go here at the Willows, in front of virtual capacity crowd, and the Salford fans urging their side on now. Forber holds the ball up well, then gets it away. Andy Burgess, who's I think had an inspired game since coming on for Sam Panipa.
Yeah, I thought they'd missed Sam, but he's done very well in his first.
High step from Paul Forber there. Blakely, man of the match. Dodging and weaving and getting the ball away. Peter Edwards with the handoff. Edwards and cheeky now from Salford as David Young powers his way through. That's the 5th tackle low on the 22. 6 minutes to go. Salford lead by 26 points to 10. Hampson looking as though he's going to try the drop goal. Well, he did with his left foot. And well wide. 5 minutes to go. 26 points to 10. The Salford Reds lead. Henry Paul coming. Almost gets the ball to halfway. Jason Robinson. Edwards there again. Farrell with the burst. But Burgess just hangs on to a foot. Wigan, though, play the ball quickly. Redlinski, Robinson is there. But Robinson is wrapped up. Hall. Paul and Edwards work the switch, and then Edwards gets it away looking for Redlinski, and now Craig with a bit of space, but he loses his footing, and then Forber comes in just to make sure he's nailed to the deck. Connolly gets the ball away. Skerritt, who's tried his hardest to get something going for Wigan with some surging runs. A fire turns one way then the other. Edwards, Farrell, Redlinski, and Robinson flattened by Burgess, and that's the 5th tackle, that's the turnover. McAvoy with the strong run. Well, it looks as though Wigan's hopes of a 9th successive Challenge Cup win are going west, because Salford, the First Division champions, coached by the former Wigan scrum half Andy Gregory, are on the verge of a historic victory, ending this remarkable Challenge Cup domination of the Riversiders. Salford have possession, they have 4 minutes to go, and here goes Scott Martin again. One of the Salford try scorers. Blakely, the man of the match. Mark Lee, who must have run in close. That look forward, it's not, according to the referee, and Darren Rogers will seal this victory. Salford 30, Wigan 10. And Darren Rogers is mobbed by his teammates. Blakely will have the simple task from in front of the posts of adding the extra points. No, he has disallowed the try. The referee has disallowed the try. He consulted the linesman, and the Salford players don't believe it.
I would say so, yeah, he did from this angle, definitely.
Well, I mean, Salford were convinced that Rogers was in there and that they'd won this game, but still at 26 points to 10. With 2 minutes to go, it looks as though they've got a famous victory sewn up here, but Wigan trying to the last. And a brave decision from David Campbell, you have to say.
Very much so, but it was the right decision. He's been very well up with play all afternoon, and he's been very consistent.
Well, he's certainly stifled those Salford celebrations there. But it still means there's a 16-point deficit. 26 points to 10. Salford Reds lead here at the Willows. Twigamala. Henry Paul out there on that right wing, but he slips. Edwards on the 5th tackle. Skerritt goes charging forward, gets the ball away. Connolly with the reverse pass. Farrell has got Martin Hall out there. Hall looks to get the reverse pass to a fire, and it's Cervello who picks it up and does the sensible thing there. He just dropped on the ball after he'd knocked it ahead, and that, I think, that really summed up Wigan's afternoon, didn't it?
Yeah, it's not gone right for him. There hasn't been any sort of urgency really in the Wigan defence, but you can't take anything away from Salford. They played very well, and it's a sad day for Wigan, really. I mean, it's an incredible record coming to an end, really. I'm pleased for the lads, the ex-Wigan players, and obviously the Salford team are also saddened.
It's not been a glorious end to the Wigan record, has it? I don't think they'll be happy with this performance.
No, and I mean, it's not. You can't really have an off day in a cup match. You know, you can get away with it in the league, but obviously you've got to be all guns blazing really in cup matches, and obviously Wigan's not been there today. It's not been the Wigan team that we're so used to seeing.
Indeed, Judd Byrne summing it up there with 40 minutes of the second half up. We're into stoppage time now. There'll be a bit of that, I fancy, as Wigan keep the ball alive. Martin Hall, Farrell, Redlinski gets into a fire cuts back infield, gets the ball away to Twigamala, who is in here. A consolation try, says one cocky Salford supporter, and well, they might be cocky now, because 26 points to 14, and there can't be much longer to go now. Farrell will take it. Twiggamala's second of the game. Farrell adds the extras. And 26 points to 16 the scoreline. Well, Wigan need another couple of tries and another couple of goals if they're to pull this one off. Can you see that?
Unfortunately, no, I can't. Even, no, I mean, it's all that happens a little.
Well, there goes the hooter. And Salford celebrate. The fans are on the pitch. And great delight here at the Willows, because Salford have ended Wigan's domination of the Challenge Cup. They've beaten the champions, the Challenge Cup holders for the last 8 years by 26 points to 16.
John, this is a tremendous day for Salford Reds, isn't it?
Bill, you know, I've been coming down here since 1967, and you know, we've had a bit of success when we won the second division Premiership and the Championship. But today, it's not sunk in yet. Wigan, everybody knows, are formidable, and we set our stall today. We have been playing well for a number of matches now. We've got obviously confidence and belief in ourselves. And you know, I'm just delighted to be the chairman of Salford Rugby League Club, which I do believe is going in the forward direction.
And credit to the coach as well. I mean, the players did it on the park, but obviously masterminded from the sidelines.
Yes, Andy Gregory, he knows the game inside out. He's done it at all levels. He's played at all levels, and he knows the game of rugby league. And he knew how we had to win this game today, as we've gone into some encounters in the First Division this season. And you know, I'm delighted for the little fella, me, because you know, he's a little bit hard to work with. He's got a mind of his own, which you could imagine. He had that on the field, but I'm delighted for him, and of course his backroom staff, John Foran and Stephen Neal, who support him really very well indeed.
The fans were singing "We're on the way to Wembley." Are you thinking in those terms yet?
No, I don't think so. I think we've 2 games to go, and after the second game at this time, I think I'll be singing myself, you know. But we've won a game today, and we've won it very well. But
you've made history.
We have made history. We really have. But you know, you've got to really think that there's still some good sides there. We're watching the draw very carefully tomorrow, but I think the way we are playing and the confidence in the team, I think we'll match anybody on the day. And of course, we'd like to have it at the Willows.
We've set us a stall out before the competition started. 4 games, your 5th one's at Wembley. 2 down, 2 to go.
Would this be one of the most satisfying victories, either as a player or now as a coach?
I think it's one of the, when the final Luta went, because you never can relax against Wigan, and when the final Luta went, it matches anything that ever happened to me as a player. It was a tremendous feeling, because the lads, like I said, we have picked the team up. The lads have all responded, and full credit to them. All the praise must go to the lads who's got stuck in, And like I said, with a bit of hard work, it's amazing what you can do.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks a lot.